Hello, beautiful people. You are welcome to another interesting edition on Roundtable with Tiwa Says. Okay, so this particular video, this particular edition is a continuation of our last edition on menopause. You know, when we had that edition on menopause, we didn't have a guest speaker in the house, someone who is here to tell us what to do, what not to do, and how to do it. And today we have such a person in the house, and that is why we are doing another edition. And also there are, of course, lots of other beautiful women in the house who will be sharing some of their experiences. So you want to stay tuned. Now I'm going to start by introducing my guest, and of course I'm going to start with the guest speaker in the house. Why don't you introduce yourself, Ma?
It's a very good opportunity being here this afternoon. My name is Musumola Dosumo. I'm the founder of Menopause Support Initiative. And I'm also the convener of the first and only menopause community in Nigeria with over 7,000 members. On Facebook, we have over 68,000 followers. And I started a movement called I Work for Menopause every October 18th. For the past 3 years, we have both men and women come on the street of Lagos to tell the world that menopause is natural. It's just a phase of life. And last year we had over 2,000 men and women join me to tell the world that menopause can be enjoyed and not endured. And I'm a pharmacist.
Enjoyed. Wow. I'm here to experience the enjoyment. Okay. So why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Mojo Busaho. I'm happy to be here. This is an enlightening topic for me.
Okay, and by my right?
My name is Vivian Williams. I'm happy to be here. Please to learn.
Okay.
I've been longing
To learn more. Okay.
About this menopause of the thing.
And you, Mom?
My name is Frida, and I'm happy to be here too.
Everybody's happy to be here. Okay, so before we allow our guest speaker to go deep into this matter, you have heard all her accolades, so you know that when she talks, she knows what she's saying. So before she goes deeper into it, I want some of us to share our experience. I know some people are not in menopause here, but I don't know if you are, and if you'd like to share some of your experiences.
I think there's a time we'll have something like that. Though I'm 49.
Okay.
50 this year. But I think when I was telling you I've stopped menstruation, it comes once in a year for now. But the things I explained, I was explaining to a doctor, and she now said that it's menopause. Wake up in the morning so tired, feel dizzy at times, so weak. At times when I wake up in the morning, I look as if I break stones in my sleep. I woke up, my body will be aching me. So it's getting worse. So I have to go and complain to a doctor to know what is the matter. And then is it my work, because I'm into fashion and design? Is it because I used to sit down to sew most times?
Okay.
So I said no, that is menopause. I've entered my menopause, or I'm going to enter my menopause, something like that. And again, I lost that's a passion for sex. And she says part of it when we were talking. I said, at times I can stay for some months. I will not, in short, I don't have interest for it. For some time, I just force myself just to satisfy my husband, just because it's my duty to do that. But if it's left for me, I can stay without it for now, because I don't have interest for it. I don't feel like. And even when I'm having it, I feel this pain. I feel pain when I'm having it. Okay. So I think when I was explaining to a doctor, she was telling me that it's part of menopause. So when I was told about this program, I said, please, I want to learn how to manage it. At least let me enjoy it. As she said, let me enjoy, not enduring it. Thank you.
Okay, so you mentioned dizziness, tiredness, and loss of libido practically. Are those the only symptoms that you've experienced so far?
I think when she mentioned sweat, I sweated up.
Okay, hot flash. Hot flashes and hot flash or flushes. Okay, so you how does that happen to you?
Most time, even when there's uh, maybe most time when I'm just staying alone, I'm not doing anything, I'm just
Start sweating.
start sweating without dropping. And
Okay.
sometimes it's not when I'm busy. Sometimes I will just maybe sit down to rest and I'll be sweating.
Okay. Can you tell us when this symptom started? When you started noticing?
It started when I was about 43, 44. But it was not as serious as
That's serious. Okay.
but for the past 2 years now,
It's been really bad.
bad here.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it to the expert to share more knowledge on this. So what do you have to say, ma'am?
Okay, thank you very much. Vivian, I'm going to ask you some questions. Before I ask you those questions, let me just tell the world, everybody listening, that there are three phases of menopause. So by the time I explain the three phases, you know where exactly you belong to. The first one is called perimenopause. And this is a transition stage before menopause. And the perimenopause can take as long as 7 to 12 years.
Wow.
And then it's good to know that the signs and symptoms of menopause is more than 64. So it affects every part of your body. And then what is responsible for this change, systematic body change, is a substance that is called estrogen. So let me shock the men in the house. Men also go through menopause. So we'll talk about that later.
That's nice
but
to know.
Let's concentrate on what we're doing here. Well, along the way, we're going to talk about menopause in men. So for women, what is responsible for those changes is called estrogen, and for men is called testosterone. And this estrogen, when a baby girl is born, and then she starts growing, her body system starts changing, she develops larger breasts, curves. It's the estrogen that is responsible for those developments. And at a certain stage in her life, this estrogen starts to fall or starts to fluctuate. And this period can take as long as 12 years, 7 to 12 years. And that's when you called perimenopause. And two things probably happen during perimenopause. The first thing that you might notice is frequency and duration or thickness of your monthly flow. For some people, it goes down from 5 days to 3 days to 1 day, and this can take you as long as 12 years. And then you now have your period skipping. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. But you see, it is not associated to age. I used to believe that menopause starts at 50, 51, until when my body system started changing at 42. Some people will have, now it's more common for ladies between the ages of 30 and 35 to experience perimenopause.
That
early. And that's what you call early menopause. And for some people, instead of this period going down gradually, you have the blood flow extending to like 7 days, 10 days, 14 days. So if you fall within this category, you must make sure you see your medical doctor. Why should you see your doctor? Because you can faint at any time. Because you're losing a lot of blood. So you need your doctor to tip it in the blood. Your doctor will give you some medication and that will help you. If you're 50, 51, 52, I remember that my period stopped at 52. So between 50 and 51, I still fall within perimenopause. I think, when was the last time you saw your period?
3 months ago.
Yes, you're not yet in menopause. So you still fall within
peri.
perimenopause. And for menopause, you see, people find it difficult to know which stage of menopause they fall into. And because of this ignorance, they tend to suffer a lot. And then for menopause is when you have consistent 12 months, no blood flow. I've seen people that are 55 and they still have blood flow. They are not in menopause. It is not age dependent. We need to understand that.
Wow.
There was a lady, there's a lady friend of mine, much younger. When she got married at 30, 31, she just discovered that she was having miscarriages upon miscarriages, and nobody could tell her what she was going through. And then she got pregnant at 33. 6 months after, she got pregnant again, and this time around, she got pregnant and delivered twins.
Wow.
By 38, her period ceased. That's what you call early menopause. And that period of perimenopause was just for 1 year. So it's good to note that there are no two women with the same signs and symptoms. So we got to understand that. And the period after the menopause is called post-menopause. But the same signs and symptoms, depending on your ethnicity, depending on your diet, and depending on your lifestyle. It depends on how long that the signs and symptoms are going to go, you're going to go along with. Now you know what stage of menopause you are. And then we have been able to analyze some of the signs and symptoms that you have gone through. Lack of sleep, insomnia, restlessness, hot flashes. 70 to 80% of women actually go through hot flashes. I remember one day, I didn't know anything about hot flashes, but I'd read a lot. I was the only one in the house around 2 a.m. I just woke up in the middle of the night. My body was shivering. There was no rain, nothing. Was shivering as if I had malaria and I was about to convulse. But you see, I didn't panic. Why? Because I had knowledge. Because I knew that this could be hot flashes. And within 10, 15 minutes, I slept back. And in the morning, I was fine. But imagine if I didn't have this knowledge, I would have run to the hospital and probably, or go to the pharmacy and they tell me I have malaria and typhoid. So I tell people, please, there's a thin line between hot flashes and malaria. So if you're above 35, when you feel sick, menopause is not a form of sickness or disease. All we need to do is to get knowledge. When you feel sick, don't be too quick to rush to the pharmacy and say, treat me for malaria or typhoid. Do a malaria test first.
Wow.
And then you spoke about, okay, you not enjoying sex.
Yeah.
That can take us like 5 months to talk about that. You see, when the estrogen level, as I said earlier on, it affects every part of your body. When it affects the brain thermostat, that's what gives us the hot flashes. And the hot flashes will go between 30 seconds to like 5 minutes. You will just sweat profusely. And she just experienced that now. Well, the environment is cold because your brain's thermostat wants to monitor and stabilize your system. And that's the only way it can do this is by you bursting out in profuse sweat. For some people, it does. I don't think I went through this for too long. But you see, once you know how to manage this, you'll be able to live above this. And that's why I said menopause is enjoyable. It is sweet. Once you get knowledge.
Okay, so you said perimenopause, menopause, post-menopause. Is the cessation of blood, is that the only way you can know what stage you're in? You know, because you said if you're if you've not had your period in 12 months, that means you've moved from perimenopause to menopause. Is that the
Menopause.
only sign? Is that the
You
only
see,
thing to show?
I said earlier on that there are more than 64 signs and symptoms. But you see, let's define what menopause is. This is my own kind of definition. It's a systematic body change. Your body changes systematically. But you see, most of us, because of the training we have been given when we were younger, that is, even if you got any training, we've associated menopause to aging process. If you get to 50, you're already in menopause. No, but you see, that perimenopause could start at 30, and your body system changes systematically. But you see, because we don't have knowledge, we associate it to some other things. Let me give you, I come in contact with people every minute. A lady came, a younger friend of mine just called me one day and said her legs are swollen. And she consistently kept having that for like a week. I said, the only way we can know that you're not diseased is go and do your regular check. She did it twice, and after 1 week, it disappeared. And the doctors were confused. They didn't see anything. They couldn't associate it to anything. Before she went to do her test, she's now 37. I told her, I said, your body system has started to change because she goes through a lot of stress. So if you do not respect and honor your body system, it will change faster. A normal being is supposed to sleep maybe like 8 hours, 9 hours. If you are now sleeping 3 hours, your husband's problem is on your head. The children's problem on your head. You have to go to work. You have to do this. At the long run, you sleep 2 to 3 hours. Your body will break down. And then your body system, the estrogen levels now starts to fluctuate earlier. And I told her, I said, your system has started to change because they couldn't associate it to anything. So that changed for like a week. And then her legs expanded. She now realized that instead of her wearing 37, she now wears 38. That's systematic body change. But you see, while this body change is changing, we're not aware. How many of us know? I'm sure she didn't know. When I used to think it was 50. Until, how did I know? I didn't even know. I have 2 fantastic boys. And I used to beat my children, my second son. For no reason, I'll just pick my heels and just be flogging them. That went on for like a year. My second son looked so much like me. After I just came back from work, I removed my shoes and I beat him. The boy just came to my room and said, Mom, you need help. And exactly. A 9-year-old boy, the boy is 20 years now. That boy I call him an angel. And I thought to myself, 9-year-old boy telling me I need help. This must be serious. And the next one, I started hearing voices. So I brought out my laptop. Wow. And and then the first thing that came to my mind, maybe because I'm a pharmacist, I don't think so. I think it is God. So I looked at the signs and symptoms of depression. Out of 15, I was going through 13. And I broke down. Yes. I sat myself down. I said, yes, I need help. So where do I go to for help? I don't know. And that is why most women die silently because they do not know where to go to for help. I had 5 branches of pharmacy. I lost practically almost everything. I had depression. I had brain fog. I knew as a pharmacist, I was supposed to go to psychiatric hospital for help. But I thought to myself, hey, it will be me. You know? I feel you were there. I say, hold me this way to Yaba. I say, I reject it in Jesus' name. And that's what we do. Every minute we reject it. But you see, it took me 2 years. What was I doing? I stopped going to work. I'll be at home. I'll cry from morning till night. I said my pastor was not making sense. I started going from one church to another, which is what we all do. Those that are not knowledgeable will go to herbalists. And all of a sudden, one day I woke up, I had keratinized itchy skin, which is one of another signs and symptoms. Your skin texture will change. You could have more pimples. And I thought, and I started crying. I used to cry every minute. I had crying spells. And I went back to my laptop. My laptop was my best friend. And I Googled dry, scaly, itchy skin. I said, I must know. And he brought it out. One of the signs and symptoms of menopause. I was happy. That is after 2 years. And it was my children that made me realize why. That was mood swing, depression. And I didn't know. Sometimes we go through these things. We don't see the way we are. Other people tell us. It's not the time for us to start arguing. It's a time for self-reflection. And then one day I saw it, another signs and symptoms of menopause, burning mouth. And I looked at it, I said, burning mouth. Hey, how does this one feel?
Burning mouth.
And you see, to my surprise, I think 3 months after, I started experiencing burning mouth. How do I manage it? I chew gum.
What's burning mouth?
Your taste buds will change. It becomes dry. It becomes very uncomfortable. I don't run around. Why? Because I'm equipped. I have knowledge. And that's what every woman should do. Don't run around. Don't run around. Equip yourself with knowledge. A lady told me one day, she didn't know what was wrong with her. She went to the hospital. She had spent like £500,000 doing tests, and they couldn't find anything. At the last minute, the doctor just said, when was the last time you saw your period? Wow. And she said, maybe 2 years.
Wow, 2 years.
And the doctor apologized to her. But you see, if she had known, or if she had knowledge, she wouldn't have spent that much.
Then I think even the doctors are in a way failing, because before she spent all that money or before she did this, did that, I think that should be one of the first few questions that you ask, depending on the age.
I agree with you, but I assume things are changing now. More people are talking about it. Even if a doctor does not ask you, once you get to the doctor, you tell the doctor, is my body system changing? It is left for us to have knowledge. So maybe we should listen to our own signs and symptoms. If we have common signs and symptoms.
I don't think she's in that. Oh, are you? Do you have any?
How old are you? Okay.
Yes, but I wanted to know, does this implant does it affect the issue?
It's hormonal.
Yes, does it also affect it? Because I have an implant as well. Or does it also affect?
It's a form of contraceptive.
Yes. Does it affect it? Does it bring it forward or it brings it backward in menopausal era?
Okay, yes. I said earlier on that there are no two people with the same signs and symptoms. Yeah. Normally, the implants, they have their own side effects. And to some people, those implants are very compatible with their system. So when you remove it, your period comes back. And for some people, they don't even, that's just the end of that period. So it's very difficult for you to know when maybe you are in perimenopause or you are in menopause. So those kind of people need to study themselves very well.
I'm of the opinion that the period should remain until the time when it should go. I don't think it's...
When will it go? Do you know when it will go?
Exactly.
You don't know. I saw my period till like 53.
Wow.
I saw my period till 53, whereas somebody else missed her period at 38. So you don't know. So it's your responsibility to get yourself equipped. You're being wise by getting knowledge right now, because now you'll be more sensitive and know, okay, I can't sleep very well. That's hormonal change. How do I manage this? or you just noticed. Another thing that I noticed, I became bigger around
Yeah, the middle.
the middle. And even when I don't feed well, I don't eat, I feed well, I feed right. Even when I don't eat, I still keep putting on weight. That's another signs and symptoms of menopause. So we have over 64.
I heard that anxiety is also
Anxiety
one of these. Is it?
there. Anxiety is one of it. We have palpitation. You have tiredness. You have dry, itchy skin. And then for some people, they have pimples. We've spoken about hot flashes. Then generalized body pain.
Yes.
Then you have that can lead to osteoporosis. Your bone starts to wrinkle or reduce. And that is enough to give you pain. Then we've spoken about the vagina. Maybe we'll talk about the vagina dryness.
Yes.
That's like 80% of women go through it.
Yes. And you know, I believe that some of the women who go through it don't even know it's menopause, because some people are young, you know, they are still in their 30s, maybe late 30s, but still in their 30s. So they wouldn't automatically associate it to menopause.
I get to know that it's menopause when I attended. It's like you are the same person that spoke on that program. I did get on that bridge.
Yes.
When they showed it, that's when I now got to not my husband like this menopause. It was just laughing. You better come out of that menopause.
You're very lucky. There was a case of a story of a woman. I've written a book. It's called Menopause Unfiltered. You have stories that we just compiled. So many stories of people in our community. You read it, you will cry.
Wow.
Because there was a case of a woman. She and her husband relocated to Nigeria, and they didn't have a child. And when they got here, I think a few months after, they had a child. And the woman changed. She used to be an introvert. And all of a sudden, she changed. And the husband just couldn't understand that sudden change in his wife. And you know what he did? He walked away. Even after they had the baby, he walked away because he couldn't just understand. It was later, I think the woman she came in contact with me and she read, and she now realized that, oh my God, this was mood swing. She will go to her husband's office, she will scatter things, see her husband with girls, destroy so many things. And she just she didn't know it was her. Do you understand? And
like an out-of-body experience.
Yes. I remember those days when I'm driving on Third Mainland Bridge, I will hear voices telling me, park your car and jump.
Don't tell me that is menopause. And don't tell me.
It's part of it.
My
I'll explain
God.
to you. Oh, you've experienced that?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Or when I'm in the kitchen, I'll hear voices tell me, take that knife and stab yourself. But you know, there was a case of a woman. This happened 2 years ago. They said, you see, Nigeria, we won't associate it to menopause.
Exactly, that's the thing.
They say the witches in your village people are after you. It's not village people. I think this lady was 48. And then when she gets to the office, she will not work. She will just be listening to music. And I think that went on. And nobody could communicate with her in the office, even at home. And a few months after, she committed suicide. And you see, how old, if you ask her how old, she was 48. There was a case of a woman recently, I think 2 to 3 weeks ago, on Third Mainland Bridge. She came out of the bus. She said she wanted to wee and came out of the bus and jumped inside the ocean. But you see, this hormonal change affects the brain. It affects your mental state. But you see, because the government has not really done so much in this area, the awareness is very low. And then we associate everything to witches and wizards.
Yes.
Yes.
No, religious, not spiritual. Religious.
If not for God, maybe me too, I would have jumped inside the ocean. How did I know that it was hormonal? One day I was in the kitchen and this thought kept coming and I just, all of a sudden, I just busted. I said, in the mighty name of Jesus, I come against that thought because that is what we do.
Exactly.
I now went back, and while I was reading, I discovered that the low estrogen level affects the feel-good hormones. That's the serotonin. Once the estrogen start fluctuating and affect the serotonin level and it goes down, those depressive thoughts will come on. And what should you do at those times? Speak words of affirmations. And you see, to every signs and symptoms that you come across in menopause, there is a management for it. There is a management. And that's why I said it is sweet. There's a management. But you see, we don't engage those things. I have discovered that most women is either they are quick to rush into supplements. They want a microwave solution. But what about our lifestyle changes, about our diets? We don't look in that area. We don't. So
amazing.
I was talking about you.
Amazing. Okay, so what exactly is post-menopause? I thought there's just perimenopause and menopause. I don't think menopause, do you get out of it? It's not something that you...
But you see, after a while, your body system acclimatizes with the state of the hormones. So you get used to it. But at what stage do you get used to it? It is peculiar to you on how you have been able to manage it. So post-menopause. During post-menopause, it's very possible that the signs and symptoms will increase.
Increase?
Yes, or decrease, depending on how your lifestyle is and your diet. I remember I didn't expect, apart from the depression and the brain fog, I didn't really experience any other signs and symptoms until last year that I started experiencing a lot of pains, and that is osteoporosis. And post-menopause, women in post-menopause experience a lot of complications from osteoporosis and cardiovascular issues. That is, once the estrogen levels goes down, it affects the state of your heart. I remember the case of a lady. She was 42, and then suddenly her blood pressure went up, and she went to the hospital, and they put her on antihypertensives. And for 2 years, she was on antihypertensives. And she just noticed that 6 months after she started taking that medication, she was not her usual self. She was always getting tired, always getting dizzy. But I don't know, she didn't go back to the hospital. That's part of our problems. And then she was just passing through my pharmacy and decided to come in. And I checked her blood pressure. Her blood pressure was as low as 50/80.
Wow.
So the first thing we did was stop her blood pressure, medications, and I told her to watch herself and go back to the hospital. And when she got to the hospital, they just apologized to her. So she's not on medication. And that is, you see, once the hormones fluctuate, affect every organ. Once it comes down, it affects every organ. And that is why we need to talk to ourselves about preventive health. Every woman, once you're more than 40, go and do your regular checkup. We give reasons why we shouldn't go. I'm too busy. I'm tired. I don't have money. All these solutions can be found. Well, maybe you call me later. You must you must do your annual checkup. Let me give you the story of another lady. This one is very pathetic. She came. Well, there's something that we engage in our communities called Menotalk. If you realize that you're struggling and you need personalized service, we'll invite you. She came all the way from Lasso. And then she started telling me her story. Her body system started changing at 30, 35. And she noticed that for 7 years, she was almost moving from the hospital to one pharmacy. Hospital, one pharmacy. And they were treating her for malaria and typhoid. By the 7th year, she was fortunate to go to her family doctor, who told her, who couldn't tell her what exactly she was going through. And at that time, the doctor just told her kidneys were infected. So and directed her to go to another hospital. By the time she got there, her kidneys were actually failing. Her kidneys had failed. She did dialysis for almost 2 years. And 2 years ago, she had her kidneys replaced. And she did that for 32 million naira. And then she asked me a question. She said, can menopause make one to die? Oh, yes, it can.
Menopause kills?
It's possible, it can. If you Google it, can menopause kill? Google will tell you, yes, it's possible. If you do not place a lot of attention on yourself, and then those signs and symptoms affect any part of your body, and you don't treat it, and it gets aggravated, it can kill.
Wow. So what caused the kidney failure? Was it menopause or was it the drugs she was taking?
It was the drugs. And then she later told me that when she had her last baby, she was put on antihypertensive, but she didn't follow through. Wow. So, you know, I told you earlier on that there's a thin line between hot flashes and malaria.
Malaria, yeah.
So we should stop all those medications. We should stop them. You need help, you go to the hospital. But well, because of the state in the environment, the economic state, people cannot pay consultation fee, and then they tend to do self-medication. But that's one of the complications that came out of it. Her body system was changing at 30, 35, and she couldn't recognize it. So we need a lot of advocacy.
So it wasn't the
so
malaria
you're doing a very
that
fantastic job, and I pray that this episode will go all out. Let people know it's not all malaria and typhoid all the time. There is more underneath.
Okay, so you mentioned supplements. Is it good to take supplements? Is something wrong with supplements? Or what kind of supplements does one take?
I wouldn't mention names here.
Okay.
This journey of ours, you need to supplement. You need to supplement. You need to supplement. Because at this stage, once the estrogen level goes down, it affects the nutrients. So, but you see, there's some food, your diet, things that you can take that will help you to balance the estrogen and the progesterone. But apart from all that, the most important thing that I have discovered that has helped me personally is exercise.
Yeah, exercise is good.
Nothing can take the place of exercise.
Yeah.
There was a case of a friend of mine. She removed her womb at 42. And you see, once you remove your womb, you remove the estrogen. There's nothing to balance anything. And then the doctors should start telling us before they remove the womb,
that
they prepare it. This is what is going to happen.
Yes.
Most of them don't tell us. And then I think she read. And then this, my friend, she maybe like 12, 15 years ago, she will spend 2 hours in the gym every day. Oh, you need to see this lady.
Wow.
Hot flash, it doesn't experience. Yeah. So I discovered about the secret about walking. I think I need to read this out. I discovered the secret about walking. If you walk, let me just read this out. What happens if you walk for an hour? After 2 minutes, your blood circulation gets going. After 5 minutes, your mood lifts noticeably. After 10 minutes, your body begins to break down stress hormones. After 15 minutes, so if you're depressed, try and walk 15 minutes every day. After 15 minutes, your blood sugar level drops. That's good. That is very good for your health. I've known people that are diabetic. Menopause can make you diabetic. Can make you hypertension. When it affects, I said earlier, it affects every part of your brain. So you need to be sensitive to yourself. So when you exercise, I've seen people that have been able to walk over diabetes by walking and diet, monitoring their diet. Your blood sugar level drops. That's very good for your health. After 30 minutes, fat burning starts. So if you
After
want to,
30
30
minutes.
minutes, the fat in your system starts to burn. So you want to lose weight, exercise. And then after 40 minutes, negative thoughts dissolve.
Wow.
And then you become more relaxed. After 60 minutes, that's 1 hour, your body rewards you with happiness hormone such as dopamine. So grab your shoes and treat yourself to a little time out.
Okay, you know, I've heard this thing that if you exercise, when you finish exercising, you feel some sort of arousal. So that means it's true, you know.
Yes,
Like,
it
so
is.
if you exercise, once you finish, you feel like, oh, I
You
want to have
feel
sex or
good.
something. Yeah.
Yes, you see, but you see, I said earlier on, there are no two people
Who are the same.
who are the same. Some people say they cannot, I've seen cases like that, they find it very difficult to sleep. And I tell them, exercise. Exercise. Some people, after exercising in the morning, they get very stimulated. They can't sleep. And then for some people, when they exercise in the evening, before 6, they sleep like babies. So you've got to find out, what does this exercise have a balance of what works for you. But exercise is the best for anybody. So because of this exercise, we have a group in my community. It's called Step and Share. We all come together. Anywhere you are in the whole world, you can walk. And then you'll be able to monitor your steps. This morning now, I've done like 17,000 steps.
How did you do that one?
I've done 17,000 steps. It keeps me going. I don't, I told you, I said 2 years ago, I started experiencing pain. Now I don't experience pain. Well, but when I don't work,
Wow,
I
17,000.
start experiencing pain. It makes you younger. The blood will flow very well. You don't have wrinkles. So you see, these are different ways by which we can manage menopause. But you see, we're very tired, we're very lazy around here.
And we give a lot of excuses.
We give
everything.
lots of excuses
I
for
don't have
everything.
time. I have to do this. I have to.
So, Vivian, how many hours have you worked today? I hope you will start working.
Yeah, I work like 4 times in a week, but my working is
Like how many?
3,600 every morning.
That's beautiful. At least you're moving your body. How many steps do you take in a day?
I don't.
You have to.
You don't take steps.
No, I do actually. So this is it. My weekends are always very intense.
You have to change it.
So by Monday, all I want to do is sleep because of the work I do. So by
Okay.
Monday, all I want to do is sleep. Tuesday, I'm still woozy from
Sleeping.
the weekend stress.
But
But
you
by
have-
Wednesday, I get my bearing. And funny enough, just this morning, I was telling myself, I said, you need to get back to this your exercise because I really used to work. I used to work like 1 hour a day.
I think you should join the Step and Share community.
No problem.
We're going to encourage you how to work.
Mm.
No matter how busy you are,
Yeah,
you have
that's
to
why
look
it's
out for that time.
No, I know I should. I was still telling myself this morning because I've become really lazy. Because I got relaxed. Maybe because I just got relaxed. That's just it.
So every woman out there, you've got to shake that body. It's not all about drugs. It's not about medication. Your exercise is one of the best things that can happen to you.
I think me for last month, I didn't have new.
It's part of it.
So when I now complain, I said that there is arthritis.
Arthritis. But if you don't manage it well,
So when I get drugs, I was thinking with drugs. A friend of ours said, That's the only thing I can solve. And honestly, that's when I started doing this walking every morning.
It will give
All
you.
the pain has started reducing.
Yeah. And then another exercise we need to do is that strenuous exercise, carrying
Lifting
weights.
weights. Yes, that's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. It tends to firm your body mass. Once your body mass gets firmer, it helps you to burn fat. And then let's talk about diet.
Yes. Diet.
Yeah.
What should we be eating?
I discovered at that 42, I started getting constipated. If I eat anything, it just sit here. And when it sits here, no matter what I do, I wasn't getting better. Nobody told me about exercise, so I started working. I lost a lot of weight. And I just realized these things work. So then I used to eat only pap and moi moi. But when I discovered those diets, it has helped me a lot. Then living a fasted life. Living a fasted life, we detoxify our system. Those ebamalayo semo that you used to eat when you were younger, your body system cannot digest it anymore. Not that you shouldn't eat those things, but in portions. Now we should have portion control, and then we should take lots and lots of dry fish. Dry fish is contains a lot of isoflavones, helps to balance the hormones. Vegetables, we have lots and lots of vegetables around here. We have hospital tufa, which they call iyanokwaja. Beautiful.
That's
It's
a
a form of
vegetable.
vegetable.
Which was that?
It's very nice.
It's like a palm.
It's very white.
Very white.
Very white. It's very nice.
Very nutritious.
What's the local name?
It's
What's the botanical?
And then they also call it hospital tufa. It's very
What
medicinal.
vegetable is that?
Go and Google it.
Wow.
It's very, very beautiful. Very nice, very nutritious. Then you have uziza or tasi. Name it. Water leaf. Ugu, every vegetable is beautiful. I cut uziza yanokwaja into eggs, into beans. It's a good companion for me. It's a good companion for me. Take it and try not to eat after 6. If you need to eat after 6, go on protein. A lot of skin, chicken, eggs.
Yeah, eggs.
It's not the time for you to sit down and just be taking all those things. And then hydrate yourself. Drink lots of water.
So you said dried fish.
Very, very,
I
very
thought
good.
I thought it said oily fish is also good. Omega for omega H3 or something.
Yes, it's very good for the heart. Dry fish are also very good.
Okay, what kind of dry fish? Stockfish.
Stockfish.
Okay.
Stockfish is good. This fish that you
Panla.
call panla.
Sour. Okay.
There's this, I've forgotten the name. Ele tó máa ń já sínú ẹ̀fọ́.
It's kwala and agbodo.
Agbodo is what I wanted to remember. Put it in your beans.
Okay.
Cut hospital tufa into it. You can
Hospital
blend
tufa.
hospital tufa.
Wow.
Then take lots of fruits.
Fruits, yes.
Yes, take lots of fruit. Then let me teach you another one that I normally teach them in my community. You have, ginger.
Yeah.
All these ones, they have ginger, turmeric, they have anti-inflammatory properties. Zobo leaves. This peppery, tiny, what is it called? Alligator pepper.
Alligator pepper.
Yes. And then cinnamon. Just take them in small proportions, blend them, whether you want to blend them dry, you can blend them dry and put hot water. Then sieve and add 5 ml of honey. Fantastic. Yeah. It helps to control hot flashes. And then if you want to just put them together and boil them in the pot and just take a cup out and add 5 or 2.5 mils of honey to taste. Or if you don't want to use honey, you might want it naturally, use date.
Dates.
Yeah. Now you want us to talk about,
Wow.
we also have time to talk about the vagina, effect
Yes,
of the
please, that's
vagina.
important. We need to talk about that. Vaginal dryness.
Vaginal dryness.
Because I don't know if exercise is going to work for that, But although I've heard that
It
there are
does,
some
it helps
things
you
that
to
you can
firm.
eat, that can help. But please tell us. Educate us.
Okay. As we said earlier on, once the estrogen levels start to fluctuate, it affects every part of our body. And then when nobody wants to talk about the vagina,
Yeah, exactly.
because it's a secret space. There's nothing secret about it because most women are dying privately. So it's a good, this is a very good forum for us to discuss it. Once the estrogen level starts to fluctuate and it affects the vagina, the first thing you see is the shape of the vagina changes. We have the bigger laps and then we have the smaller one. When you were younger, it used to be fuller. It has a lot of oxygen. And then it contracts. But once the estrogen level goes down, the level of contractility reduces. It becomes dry. So once the dick wants to try to penetrate, it becomes very, very, very difficult. And that is why we go through a lot of pain. That vagina is no more as elastic as it used to be. And then the elasticity also helps the lubrication. Yeah. And once the elasticity is no more there, lubrication reduces. And if you have, God help you, if you have a husband that is not understanding, and all he wants to do is to go in and come in, go in and go out, God helps you. And then the woman starts to bleed. I've seen the case that the woman said, the husband said, go and look for solution for yourself. I'll go out. And the woman ran and said, help me. What can I do? Am I sick? Is there anything wrong with me? You're not sick. Your husband, this is the time we need to, the rate at which the husband and the wife need to sit down and communicate. We need to talk. We need to talk. Once your body system is changing, sit yourself down. In the community, husbands will go and bring their wives. Wives will go and bring their husbands. Because both of us need to learn. We need to talk. Both our bodies are changing. For the men, at the age of 30, they lose 10%. No, they lose 1% of their testosterone. It's not peculiar to women alone. But the only advantage is that change, we do not see it. That change is still within the allowed limits. But for us women, we come down with it. So, assuming a husband and a wife that both of them are 50-50, 50-year-old each. The wife is going through her own body change. The husband too is going through her own body change. The wife does not want to fuck, allow. The wife, I'm allowed. The wife does not want to fuck. And at this age, the husband has not started to come down with the change. The husband's libido is still as high as ever. What do you think will happen? It will go out.
Exactly.
And the wife will just say, don't even come near me, don't touch me.
Exactly.
And the husband will say, I give you 5 months. If you don't change, I will go look for a girlfriend. And then they find that there's a girlfriend in the office. She dresses and then, she does those little things. And the man is like, just one touch like this. And the woman's hormone is still very high.
Very.
So just imagine.
Wow.
Let's just imagine what could happen. And then suddenly the wife wakes up. And you know what happens? The husband is gone. That home is broken down. So we need to learn to talk. And I remember I had a radio show and somebody asked me a woman that's going through menopause can easily infect you. That's a taboo. Menopause is not contagious, it's a taboo. But at this stage, we need to learn to take care of ourselves. Because in that area, we have both the good and the bad bacteria. Normally, the pH of the vagina is acidic. That is let's say 1, 2, 3, very acidic. But because of that fluctuation in estrogen levels, the pH now starts getting alkaline. It drops. In that acidic environment, bad bacteria cannot grow. But because of that low estrogen level, it becomes more alkaline. And then we have the development and the growth of bad bacteria. And what happens? Then you start having discharge. At this stage, some husbands that don't understand, they will say, she will give me disease. It's not disease. So what does the woman have to do? She needs to take probiotics and balance herself. But most of us do not know what to do. And that is why I keep talking about knowledge. So what do? There's supplements that can help you. Some women will bleed. Some women will have discharge. And some women will have pain. So the first thing you need to do is to educate your husband. Some husband will say, go and sort yourself out. No, my body is your body.
Exactly.
Your body is my body.
Two shall be one.
Two shall be one. So we've come to understand. Because if you can't fuck me, who will I fuck?
Exactly.
So we've got to understand this. We've got to do it together. Because by the time his own body system starts to change, and I know the case of a lady, our own libido was to the extreme, and the husband's libido was breaking down. So what will they do? Both of them came together and said, you know what? None of us is going out. What will we do? Oral sex. But it must be.
And that solved the problem.
Oh yes, they are happily married. The man's dick is not coming up. And the sister wants somebody to touch her and rub her. So what do? Women are not allowed to go out in this kind of environment.
They're not allowed to have open relationships.
Which one is open? They're not allowed to
Open.
You can't even go. So what do we do?
Wow.
Men are allowed to go out, but women can't do it.
Yeah.
But you see, when we come together and we talk about these things, okay, oral sex, they're happily married, don't date. They're enjoying it.
The husband must be quite,
Like
supportive and understanding.
Yes.
Because even in marriages, not all men do oral sex.
Yeah.
They receive, but they don't give.
And they're
Even
selfish.
of course, they are selfish. Men are selfish. They are selfish. But I've also heard that you can use lubricants as well,
Yeah. We spoke about lubrication. At this stage, because the flaps are not as elastic, then we have increase in friction. So water-based lubricants
yes,
are very, very effective. It will reduce the pain. It will reduce the discomfort. Just get to any pharmacy and say water-based lubricant. And yeah.
I think, this is actually very good because I think a lot of women need this information because most women don't have this information. And then there's some kind of taboo, about menopause and about even vaginal dryness, apart from it being a symptom of menopause. Most women don't want to talk about it and they just want to, die in silence. They don't even want to, try using lubricants and all. And even some men, that's why I said, that husband must be very supportive. Some men don't even want to hear lubricants. They feel like, okay, if I'm using lubricant on my wife or something, then something is wrong with her. Then maybe she can't satisfy you, or those kind of
ignorance. So before we go on, there's another very important symptom we need to talk about. It's called genitourinary syndrome.
Wait.
Genitourinary syndrome. You'll notice that when you want to wee, it's very painful. Very painful. Because maybe the urethra is now infected with bad bacteria. So when you want to wee, it's very painful. And then before you get to the bathroom, you are weed on yourself.
That's all.
Yeah, you're not sick. It's just part of it. You just be, once you open the door to your house, and you just be dancing and dancing before you remove everything and get to the bathroom. You are weed on yourself. It's part of it because the bladder is now weak. So what you do, you're not sick. So you've got to accept yourself. My body system is changing. So my husband must understand everything I'm going through. For men, when they're talking about this body change, the only thing that they think their body is changing is when their dick cannot stand. It's more than that. It's more than
And
that.
I've also heard that in some men, their libido is even higher as they age. Is that possible?
Some men don't even come down with menopause until very later years. Those kind of men go and find out about their lifestyle.
My grandfather had a child at 80.
Yeah. Go and find out about their lifestyle.
At 80?
Yeah. Go and find out about their lifestyle. They carry weight. Let me tell us the story of a young guy that came to my pharmacy. The guy was 38. And he said, he came all the way from Port Harcourt and said somebody told him that he should buy folic acid. And I just don't allow people buy drugs off my counter without asking you questions. And while asking him the question, he said, when he got married 5 years ago, he could go 7 rounds with his wife. And all of a sudden, people do it.
7 rounds.
And then all of a sudden, he now realized that to go 1 round was a problem.
Wow.
And this guy was 37. And I started asking him questions. So he said he thought it was his wife that had an issue. So he came all the way from Port Harcourt to Lagos to come and meet an old girlfriend. And unfortunately, unfortunately for him, he realized that he couldn't just go even 1 round. So he came to the pharmacy.
But it's not the wife.
It's not the wife that had the problem. And while asking the questions, he now actually told me he works in a chemical company. So those chemicals have affected his testosterone.
Wow.
So he came down with male menopause is called andropause.
Andropause, yeah.
He came down with andropause at an early age. So that's where lifestyle comes in.
You know, this is quite enlightening because we've heard of situations where married men will say that their wives have done something to them. You know, like they can't do something outside, or they don't last long, or funny stories. Meanwhile, it's menopause that is doing them. Nobody is doing them.
It's
They are the ones doing themselves.
The same way we women run around and say that is witches and wizards.
Yes,
it's
village people.
Village people. It's not village people.
You can't sleep. You have a or something.
It's not village people. It's not village people. Your body system
knowledge.
is changing. It's knowledge. It's knowledge.
Wow. I mean, I know a lot about menopause because while growing up, I saw my mom experience it. So there are a lot of things that when she was doing them, the teas she was taking, I don't know.
Was your mom enough?
No, did you ever Elizabeth Gafaro?
Yes.
So my mom was.
So your mom too
she
used to
used
drink her wee wee.
Yes.
Drink her wee wee. But
my mom did that time.
I liked the Mr. Totsi. It was there I heard about Efoya Paja. She told her to go on diet for 3 months. So I did it with her and I enjoyed it. And I saw her go through it. So I kind of like understand some to a large extent. But now that I am getting close to that age and having this knowledge, because I mean, I wouldn't know everything. All I was interested in, was food. So that's what I was interested in. But now that hearing all this, for me, it's a whole new world completely.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow. And this is something like, this knowledge, wow, like I'm happy. I'm very happy to have made sure I came, irrespective of what I had to deal with at the moment. But I'm just like happy at the knowledge that I've just been able to soak up, because this is enlightening, mind blowing.
Mind blowing.
Thank you.
As in, I
Please come and join our community
I
to know
definitely
more.
will. I definitely
Yeah,
will. I
yeah.
definitely will.
There's no limit to the knowledge we get.
Yes, so
You
there's
see,
no
once
limit.
you have this knowledge, you stop running around.
I hear that there's a way to prepare the body for menopause, you know. So what are the, you know,
Spoken
for
about
people
it.
who we
Exercise. Your
okay, just
diet.
exercise. That's
And
before.
then
That's before you even get to
water.
the age. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Exercise,
what you need to be
diet.
doing. Let me give you an example. My boys started carrying weight at 18. And then one day, this is my right hand, I couldn't carry it for like 4-5 days.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, Tani Moshe.
what they were like.
I'm
What
telling
they
you. And then I couldn't carry it. And I thought to myself, no, I'm not going anywhere. And suddenly my eyes just went to the 15 kg weight they normally carry. And I thought, okay, let me try it. And I decided to carry this weight for 3 days. And this pain went. You know what was happening to me? My body mass
yes.
was breaking down. And now I carry weight 3-4 times a day. I don't experience any pain. I can walk you to Abuja and back.
People trivialize these things.
Go and start carrying weight. You don't need, you are your own physiotherapist. See, we can help ourselves if only we have the knowledge. But we don't have the knowledge. We'll run away from the knowledge.
Yeah,
I think what Lagos State or federal government should do for us is, in every hospital, have a unit for menopause and andropause, where people can come in and get knowledge. People need knowledge. There was a story when I had my radio show, a woman came all the way from last week, Gondo. And that age, the woman was like 55. That was like 3 years ago. This woman was crying, I was crying. This woman went through the same thing I went through, depression. And you know what happened to her? They took her to psychiatric hospital. They mismanaged her. And as I'm talking to you, this woman has been on antipsychotic for only God knows. She came all the way so that I could help her to withdraw the medication. I'm not a doctor, I can't withdraw her from the medication. So right now, she started experiencing all the signs and symptoms. Her tongue is wobbling, she talks, she stammers. You know, if only she knew. Imagine if I had gone, how I would probably have been. But I know that now things are a lot better. Then there's a better management when you go to the hospital. Even only talk therapy can help you. If I had talk therapy, I wouldn't have lost my businesses. Do you understand? I remember then I started my master's and I paid heavily for it. And 6 months down the line, I would read a topic for like 20 times. And I couldn't just assimilate anything. If I had somebody to tell me and say, you can do it, don't work. After one day, I just sat myself down. I can't come and die. And that was how I walked away. 2 years after, I realized I had brain lapses. I had brain lapses. Do you know how many women are struggling with those kind of issues?
So
Businesses, directors.
That brain fog is a thing. You know, you forget things.
You forget things.
You'll be wondering.
So that's why it's part of menopause.
Yes, it is. Brain, it's called brain lapses. Then, brain fog. I had that for 2 years. I still go through it. How do you manage it? Get a small exercise book, small notebook, put it in your bag. When you remember things, and then you have millions of thoughts flooding and then you can't focus. So just pick it and be writing it down one by one. That is one way by which you can manage brain fog. And then make people around you to understand what you're going through. My children, I call Richard, Ronald, Richard, and my boys will look at me and
Oh,
say,
my children
Mom, are
hate
you
that thing.
okay?
They hate
But
that
let
thing.
them understand that this is what is happening to mommy. Mom is for this changing. You've got to let them understand. I work, I tell my, okay, I want to prescribe you, but I can't remember the name. Go to this shelf. If you go to this shelf, the color of the pack is this. They will just look at me and smile. I will just look at them and tell them, yeah, it's one of those things.
It is what it is.
I'm not going crazy.
Alright. For someone like us that, like the toll of motherhood at this early age, we might, I feel that, is there another, apart from weightlifting, is there another, because I've heard about we going to learn for swimming, that we need to exercise our body by swimming, but I can't swim, so is it that I have to go swim?
Start walking.
Okay,
Walking will not cost you anything. Walking, there's so many
Or even
things you can do.
skipping. I heard
Yes,
skipping.
dancing.
Yeah, skipping.
You can dance in your
Skipping
sitting room.
helps.
You can skip. Don't
Skipping
just
helps.
sit down without doing anything. I wish I knew all these things. I just started all these exercises maybe like 2 years ago. If I knew earlier, I won't have a big stomach. You can see me, I'm covering it. But life is fun.
Yeah.
So we need a mindset change. Many people want to see menopause. They're gone.
Yeah. Yes, I once told someone that it's actually a privilege.
It's a privilege. It's a gift. So every woman out there should have a mindset change. When you get knowledge, you know that God does not give us anything evil. But you see, because we do not have this knowledge, I have pain, I don't know how to handle it. I say, God, why have you bring this thing upon me? Oh? No.
So I think basically what you're saying, we women, we have to be at an early age, we have to not allow ourselves, we have to stand up.
Don't let yourself go.
Don't let yourself go. That's the word.
Water. So like me, then when I don't drink water, I don't know why. So I have to, when I wake up, I'll find out. So like this water is.
This is another most important.
Yeah.
Water. Make sure you take minimum of 3 liters of water every day. If you don't take enough water, you'll break out in flashes. All the signs and symptoms of menopause will pack their luggages and come to your doorstep.
Must it be
Water is
water?
important.
Can't it just be liquid? Like tea?
No. You can't substitute for water. Water.
Is it not water used to make?
Because your kidneys are going to work
Yeah.
to
You
get
have
to
to
the
have it.
water.
You need water.
So you need water.
You need water. You need water. Water. Water solves all problems.
Ha. Okay. We'll be drinking water. Okay, I must say today has been very enlightening. I don't know if you have any other questions. Does anyone have any other questions to ask?
I just want to say a very big thank you for
Yeah.
this program. Honestly, about 3 days ago, I just sat down. Honestly, I was crying. I was praying, saying, God, why all this? I'm coming out of this one. This pain, this one. When am I going to
Let me say something. Menopause is a syndrome. When you say syndrome, it's a collection of 5, 6, 7 signs and symptoms all together. When you sleep, you can't sleep well. You have night flashes. In the morning, you are feeling dizzy. You are feeling tired. You're having brain fog. You have pains all over you. That's 5 signs and symptoms. This is what you call a syndrome. And most women do not know. They now package all these syndromes together to equate it as witches malaria and typhoid, or witches and wizards.
Witches and wizards.
So we've got to understand it. Or you have burning mouth, you have pimples all over your face, you can't go out, your stomach is bloated.
Yes.
So, but what you do is handle one at a time. When you want to treat this medically, you can, sometimes you have to take supplements like 5, 6 supplements. It's called polypharmacy. But at the initial stage, you might have to do that to stabilize yourself. And afterwards, you're good to fly.
Okay, because I was going to ask that, is it advisable to just keep taking so much supplements? Does that not have
No,
its
you need
implications
to
as
see,
well?
all these things are individualized management. Individualized management. Once you take this initially, then you start discovering how you can manage this, how you can manage this. Look at me. When I couldn't lift my hand, somebody else that didn't have knowledge would have gone to Bobby,
Exactly.
physiotherapist, and they would have given you like 2-3 different supplements. Whereas all you need to do was to carry it. So you need to find out what is peculiar to you and solve it.
For you.
Yes, seriously, I want to say a very big thing for this knowledge. Obviously, I will know how to manage myself now. I will know that it's not that I'm sick.
You're not sick.
Exactly.
I'm going through
It's a different phase.
different phase of my life. And at times I will wake up with this, I'll just be angry.
Mood
It's the
change.
mood thing. Or you just don't
Like
even want to
yesterday, I
talk
just
to
woke up yesterday,
anybody.
I just went to sit down in the corner of them. My mom was asking me, what happened? Are you not going to holiday? I said, I'm not going to holiday. I was just angry with him. My little was asking, what happened? I said, I'm fine. I don't want to talk. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to start. Say why? Because you don't play with your fellowship. I said, I don't want to go anywhere.
But now you know what is wrong with you. You have to be intentional about it. When your body is saying, I'm not going to go for fellowship, you just tell yourself, I know what is wrong with me. It's just that estrogen thing. Come on, get up, I'm going for fellowship. That's how you can live above it.
Thank you so much for this. You don't know
It's
what
natural.
You don't know. You don't. Think I've been going through something.
Thank
look
you.
Funny. I've been going through so much that
Yeah.
I think I'll ask God at times, what did I do
Imagine.
that I'm going through? You know, I'm almost 10, I mean 15, I mentioned, I'm going through all.
Wow.
And, and I keep saying that, and I believe that even there are some symptoms that we don't even know.
Exactly.
Because she says 60, I'll be
64.
there are some that we don't even know
We
yet.
know
So
yet,
that
yes.
it's later they'll say,
And it's
oh,
peculiar to you. And it's peculiar to you.
exactly, it's peculiar to you. It's
Like,
amazing.
Like if my mom tells you, please remind me of something, like,
Don't depend on you. Me that always tell people, remind me because I know that I may not remember. Remind me.
You tell me something now, and maybe later on now, someone that asks, what's I said, I don't remember. What kind of human being? Somebody just said something like, I find it difficult to absorb things.
It's part of it. It's the
Take
estrogen.
things in, and it was not like this before.
Start going for walks. That's one way to manage it. Walk.
So this 1 hour walk now, is it a straight 1 hour?
It depends.
Because I don't think I've ever done, I do like 30 minutes, 30, but I don't think I've ever done a straight 1 hour. So is it possible to break it?
I do like 2.5 hours to 3 hours.
Straight?
I leave my house. I stay in an estate. I leave my house like 5:36 and come back around 8. I don't even
all this
feel
time
it.
you are walking.
I'm walking, I'm listening to tapes, I'm praying, I'm singing, I'm having fun. That's the time I have moment with me, with myself. Once I get back inside, I have this call, this person is calling you,
so
I
many
have
distractions.
this thing to do, but that is the time for me. It depends on you.
What works for you?
It depends on you.
But well, you have to put your discipline yourself. Put yourself. If not,
money cannot work because most times I wake up 4 a.m. Get the children ready for school, get my little boy ready for school, cook, do all those things, and before you know it, it's already 7. So most of that morning cannot
find out what works for you. Yes, if you're in a very a place that's security, then do it. You have to be selfish. You have to get that time alone for yourself. Yes. You have to get it done for yourself.
Okay, so can you tell us more about your community? Because I know that a lot of women watching too will want to be part of it because
okay, how did I start this community? Is because somebody asked me and said, hey, 68 50,000 followers. How did you do it? And that tells you there's a statistics that 75% of Nigerian women above the age of 45 are living in ignorance and they need help.
True.
Every minute people are joining my phone. I am going everywhere with my phone. Because I want to help people. After 2 years that I was able to help myself, a lady came and told me she was working. She had gone to 3 different hospitals and she thought she had cancer. And then she had her contraceptive. She had her contraceptive on. She was just tired. And she just wanted somebody to talk to. So she walked herself into my pharmacy. And she was 45. And I told her she was going through menopause. I said, menopause? After 2 weeks, she was okay. Another lady in Ilorin saw me on Facebook.
After 2 weeks.
She was fine. And then I just decided to help these 2 people by monitoring and managing them on WhatsApp. And then from 2 people, today we're almost 7,000 men and women on WhatsApp. And the community is called the Meno Club. And then on social media, we're on Facebook at Menopause Support Initiative, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. All we do is talk about menopause. You have an issue you want to talk about, just talk about it and we handle it. We don't talk about church, we don't talk about religion, we don't talk about politics, only menopause and andropause. And we have, once in a month, we do a webinar, so you can join us with just a token of 1,500. It's called Ask Me. Any question on menopause, just ask me. But you have access to it by making a subscription of 1,500. And then we have what is called Vital Plus. That Vital Plus came out of people's questions and people's need. Where will I do this test? Where can I do this test? People started living in fear. So we went around and we partnered with Beacon Health Diagnostics. There are 10 different tests that is very, very important. There's something we didn't talk about, maybe another time. The differences between thyroid and menopause.
Thyroid. Yeah. Thyroid.
Maybe another time. The signs and symptoms of thyroid is exactly the same signs and symptoms of menopause. You cannot differentiate it with the eyes. So you've got to do regular tests. Once the estrogen affects the thyroid gland, you can either be hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, and 99% found in women. So we have 10 different tests that we do. And with a partnership with Beacon Health Diagnostics, if you go do those tests outside, it can cost you like 250,000 naira, but we pay 85,000 naira because of our numbers.
Okay.
And our Step and Share Club, that is the best. Anywhere you are, come and hear testimonies. People that are unable to sleep are now sleeping. Obesity has been crushed. People now relate better with their husbands. Fantastic. So a subscription fee of 2,500 naira every month. You can join our community. Anywhere you are in the whole world, just come and step and then share your results. So
How does that
do you
work? People do individual works.
Anywhere, because we have an app.
Okay. Oh, okay.
We have an app.
Okay.
So you just join the app and then people are encouraging you. Somebody that doesn't want to work today, by evening, she sees the results, say, hey, this person has passed me. Oh, tomorrow morning I must go.
You know, that's really nice.
And so by so doing, your body system is changing. So it's a community thing. And so how do you join our community? You can type menopause to 080-2322-6539. Okay, I'll take that again.
Say it again, yeah.
Anywhere you are in the whole world, type menopause to 080-2322-6539. But if it is a Step and Share that you're interested in, just type step and share to the same number 08023226539. You join anywhere you are. It's free to join us. It's free to learn. But our services are subscribed for. And then Menu Talk, you're having, so just like Vivian, you want somebody to talk to, you think life is very, very difficult, and you want someone to hold your hand through it, we can do that for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It has been very enlightening. I thought I knew enough. I don't think one can never get enough knowledge of menopause. Thank you so much for obliging us today. We are so
I'm glad
grateful
to
for
be
the
here.
knowledge.
Thank you.
And I know that those watching, you've learned, I can't even say one thing or two. You've learned a lot today, So please share this video for every woman, even those that have not reached perimenopause or menopause. As long as you're a woman, you will need this information at some point in your life. And also like and subscribe so that you get notifications when we come out with new videos like this, and follow us on all our social media handles. In our bio, check our bio, you see all our handles there. And we'll see you next time. Say bye, people.
Bye.
Bye.